Russell Brand has shared the first photo of his mother Barbara since she was involved in a near-fatal car crash last month. The comedian and actor, 42, shared a sweet snap of himself wrapping an arm around a happy and healthy-looking Barbara, 71, captioned "Number NHS saved my mum." In a blog on his website, the star heaped praise on the love and care the NHS showed to his mother, while elaborating on the horror injuries his mother suffered. He wrote, "A head-on collision at 100 miles per hour, both cars totaled, strewn across a lane. Passers-by don't pass by, they stop and help. They haul the screaming and bloodied woman from the back of the car. When I see her, she is already medicated and understandably in shock. I wish that hadn't happened," she says. Her chemotherapy completed just 3 weeks before. The scans come back, each bleaker than the last: broken neck, internal bleeding, broken back, sternum, ribs. "It's very serious," says Darren, head nurse, before she is rushed to the Royal London Whitechapel. "My uncle and I follow in an unmarked blue light, the policeman Steve Dutiful and beautiful." Adding that his mother has beaten cancer 6 times, Russell said he had repeatedly thanked the staff at the Royal London Hospital, who modestly accepted his praise. The star said his mother had to undergo 3 life-saving operations and said, "I see why they call it intensive care. That's exactly what it is in there, intensive care. Strong and constant love from a roster of 200 nurses, each one dedicated, kind, focused and unfussy." A variety of backgrounds, but as they fulfilled their role at the end of my mum's bed, applying drains to her injured lungs, monitoring her bruised heart, feeding her, bathing her, the difference between care and love is difficult to see. Is the invisible force that keeps my mum not just alive but positive and loving, distinct in any meaningful way from the love and devotion of these beautiful people. The spirit of this beautiful institution? The NHS is the best of us. It is our shared declaration that love is real. The National Health Service. It does so much, and yet it means much more. Last month, Russell revealed his mother was making a remarkable recovery following her terrible head-on car crash last month. Barbara was heading to her son's house in his chauffeur-driven limousine when it collided with another vehicle in Essex, leaving her with life-threatening injuries, including a broken back and broken neck. However, appearing on Loose Women on Wednesday, the comedian revealed his mother was doing amazing after the crash and praised her unwavering spirit and strength as a 6-time cancer survivor. When asked about his mother's health, Russell said she was doing well after the collision and revealed the other driver who fled the scene had been arrested. Detailing the shocking aftermath, he explained, "She had terrible injuries. Broken back, broken neck, terrible abdominal injuries. But she's making a remarkable recovery due to her spirit and the incredible National Health Service and the people that work there who do such phenomenal work." "It's unbelievable. Met with applause from the audience, Russell then praised his mother's strength over the last few weeks, which he believes stems from her previous battles with other devastating illnesses. He went on, "She's had cancer 6 times. She'd only finished chemo a month before the crash, so she's still sort of having to go for regular checks and that. She bounces right back. The woman wants to live. She's full of spirit." While she is on the road to recovery, Russell also admitted he had sought help himself in order to deal with the trauma. He explained, "When someone you really love has something serious happen. I'm lucky. I've got a program of recovery, and this means that when something serious happens I have a little word with myself and I am plugged into a support network, and I know that what I mustn't do is act all selfish and self-centered." At the end of last month, the comedian released a statement to inform fans that he would be cancelling the remainder of the Russell Brand Rebirth Tour due to his mother's accident. In an Instagram video, Russell said, "My mum's been in a really serious road accident and has sustained what are being called polytraumatic injuries. That means numerous, life-threatening injuries." He confirmed that the 9 remaining May 2018 dates for the Rebirth Tour were now cancelled and tickets would be refunded or possibly rescheduled. "I can't imagine performing at the moment," he continued. "I feel too sad and too connected to this. I apologize, but obviously it's circumstances beyond my control." In a second video, Russell said that his mum was in a vulnerable position, having finished multiple bouts of cancer treatment only weeks before. "I'm sad for my mum," he said. "She's vulnerable. She only finished chemotherapy a month ago, so for her to be in this situation it's really difficult." Russell praised the NHS for their care and insisted that he considered Taz, the chauffeur of his car, to be a friend. He continued, "The man who was driving was a friend of mine. What I suppose I would like to say is how I am reminded, as I have been many times across my life, is the importance and significance of the NHS, who have already saved her life on 6 occasions. My mum has had cancer 6 times. Barbara, who has a very close relationship with Russell, has previously beaten uterus cancer when the comedian was just 8 and breast cancer a year later. Barbara had been traveling to the star's home to babysit his 18-month-old daughter Mabel in his chauffeur-driven Audi A8 when the limo was struck by a car traveling on the wrong side of the road. The star's Audi A8 was badly damaged in the collision, which closed the road for several hours. Barbara was taken bleeding from the back of the car and put into an ambulance. Pictures from the scene show the extent of the damage, with debris from the cars being scattered across the road. "My mum's been in a really serious road accident and has sustained what are called polytraumatic injuries. That means numerous, life-threatening injuries. So I won't be able to do the rest of my Rebirth Tour. If you have tickets, they'll be refunded or possibly rescheduled, but I can't imagine performing at the moment. I feel too sad and too connected to this." I apologize, but obviously it's circumstances beyond my control. What I realized through this are some things that are really obvious: the importance of people you love and how often these things happen. When you're in hospital, you're surrounded by people in traumatic situations and suffering and pain, so it brings you to a kind of bare and raw truth about your reality. I'm sad for my mum. She's vulnerable. She only finished chemotherapy a month ago, so for her to be in this situation, it's really difficult. The man who was driving, Taz, was a friend of mine. What I suppose I would like to say is how I am reminded, as I have been many times across my life, is the importance and significance of the NHS, who have already saved her life on 6 occasions. My mum has had cancer 6 times. To see the way the medical professionals operate is a phenomenal thing. We should all be really grateful for the NHS. I think of it as the soul of this country, where people are benevolent and kind and do something valuable for a living. So again, sorry to convey the sad news to you. I won't be on social media for a while. Thank you for all your positive, beautiful messages, prayers for those of you for whom that is meaningful and appropriate. Please continue to keep my mum in your thoughts and in your hearts. I'm sending lots of love to you and gratitude. Cheers. I'll see you all soon, I hope. The comedian similarly cancelled a sold-out live show in 2014 after his mother was diagnosed with breast cancer for a second time. Russell has long been a supporter of cancer awareness campaigns due to his family's history with the disease. Promoting the CoppaFeel campaign in 2010, Russell appeared in a video with his mother encouraging women to check their breasts regularly for lumps. Russell also discussed his past battles with addiction on Loose Women following the release of his book Recovery: Freedom from Our Addictions last year. Discussing why he chose to write the book, he said, "If have an obvious form of addiction like drugs or alcohol, we can diagnose it. But we can have all sorts of attachment to things, and the book is about becoming aware of these and the patterns you have." Giving his take on the illness, he went on, "Addiction is consuming, and consuming is essential and necessary for people who are in positions of power all the time. We're living in a culture that is obsessed with fame and beauty, and things that we don't expect are going to be fulfilling." He added that asking for help and support is the most vital part of overcoming addiction, explaining, "You don't do it on your own. If I feel super sad or depressed, I get on the blower. My biggest problem is self-obsession and self-centeredness. Some people think they talk about other people all the time, but in reality, that can be selfish."